Get away from her, you bitch!
Welcome to another episode of The Review Lounge. I'm Jay.
I'm Jen.
And this week's topic is a controversial one. It's very touchy. It's one of those subjects that you hear the boom, 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 boom.
It requires sitting and coffee.
That's right. I am thinking that
Your
my Darth Vader
mug.
mug. Damn right. So anyway, what we wanted to talk about is, because I've seen a lot lately on YouTube and other forums and stuff like that about the whole strong female lead character controversy.
The woke movement.
The woke movement that we're seeing now in movies, particularly with Captain Marvel, although neither of us have seen Captain Marvel, but we're also now getting it from the CW's Batwoman trailer. And I guess the beginning of this sort of movement sort of came about with Disney's Star Wars, like with The Last Jedi and Rey.
Yes.
And how they were promoting Rey as this strong female iconic character even before the movies came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would be remiss if we didn't also touch on this subject. And, seeing as how you have a male host and a female host, we're kind of well qualified. We're well positioned for this particular conversation. So I will defer to your femaleness and let you go first. That was pure fear.
No need to fear. Never need to
So I mean, but what's your take on it? Like, what's your the whole female woke movement?
As you know, and you've known me for years, I am not the kind of woman who gets easily offended. I speak what's on my mind. I don't scare easily. That kind of, I don't want to say, brave bravado kind of thing, but I'm just, I do my own thing. If I'm offended, I let you know, and if you're great, I let you know.
Mm-hmm.
But this whole woke thing, the more I watch about it, the more it infuriates me, and I'll tell you why. From a woman's point of view, and I'm probably not the kind of woman you really want to talk to about this, honestly, because and here it is. Like I said, I when I go to a movie, I go to be entertained. I don't go to examine each character and how they make me feel, or well, that character should be a woman. Why isn't that character a woman? That character should be a woman. I don't give a shit. If the character is doing what they're supposed to be doing, if they make me laugh, if they make me angry, if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in the film, I don't care. And it's I don't know why the society as a whole, I'm not going to say as a whole, certain people, individuals feel that they have to be coddled and catered to and made to feel good because they're a woman. I just don't understand that mentality. And you can love me or hate me, you can comment on it, that's fine, bring it on. I don't understand the need to be, I don't want to say babied.
I see where you're coming from.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely see
like
where
this whole Captain Marvel thing. If you one of the videos that we just finished watching a little bit ago.
Yes, we do research before we talk.
He brought up Ripley from Aliens, and I yes, I was in grade school when that movie came out. I was in 8th grade, I believe, 7th or 8th grade, junior high. Mm-hmm. And And I went to see that movie 13 times by myself. It's when you were back then when you were allowed to do that.
Right.
You know, and I didn't go because she was this all-powerful...
You weren't like, oh, I'm representing. She's a woman. Therefore that's
she's
me.
representing me as a woman. I didn't go for that at all. I went because she acted human. She wasn't invincible. She overcame tremendous fears and was extremely brave because she knew she had to be. You know, and she got hurt and she wanted to take care of a loved one. You know, she went in and got new, and the place was going to explode, and not everybody would do that.
I would.
Right?
I mean, you just met the kid.
My point was, none of the people in that movie made her out to be anything else
Right.
than what she was.
Right. Well, ironically enough, even though we are of separate genders,
Yeah.
which I guess in today's day and age we should be going at each
He
other.
said, she said.
Like you know, I should be the one sitting there going, well, she's a woman and therefore she can't do what a man does, and you should be like, oh, you misogynist pig. But no, and the reality is that we're both in agreement on this. To me, the Aliens movies are one of the best franchise films in sci-fi. One of the best franchises in sci-fi, at least in the sci-fi that I've grown up with. They're one of the best. And the lead character, the main character, the only recurring character through all of them is Ripley, Ellen Ripley. And she's a female character, and yes, she's strong. But like you said,
She reminds me of me.
good. But even as a young guy, as a young guy watching, you know, I wasn't thinking like, oh well, you know, they could have had Hicks do that, you know, and so no, I was just thinking, you know what? I get it. I get why she's going back for Newt. And you know what? And she's a badass because she's choosing to do that. Because most people wouldn't.
You have 20 minutes left
Hicks
of your life.
and Hudson and the rest of the Space Marines and stuff like that, they were ready to bug out and leave whoever was there. You know, and here's this woman who, because of her motherly instinct, which is a foreign concept these days, decides decides that, you know, she's gonna take on this challenge, go marching back into the hive of these aliens, and then rescue this little girl.
Attempt to rescue.
And then try and get her out before the whole thing gets taken out in a nuclear explosion. And to me, that was just a badass character.
Yeah.
She was like the chick you'd want to hang out with because she was cool and she was funny, but she didn't take no crap. But the important thing for me, coming at it from someone who writes and has done screenplays and stuff like that, it's they didn't beat you over the head with an agenda. And what I find ironic, especially like now, you see people criticizing the Captain Marvel, the new Batwoman trailer and stuff like that, and they get this clapback from their criticism as if like, oh, you're only criticizing this because you're a misogynist, you're a sexist, you're a male chauvinist pig. And it's like, no. Speaking for most guys, and I think most guys out there will agree with me, most guys are totally fine with strong female lead characters if they're believable. If their motivations are believable, if what they're doing fits within the story, it makes it believable, and we're totally fine with that. What gets the reactions that Captain Marvel, Dark Phoenix, and the Batwoman trailer get is when you drift away from that. The characters' motivations are no longer about what's going on in the story. The characters' motivations are, well, I need to make a social statement, you know, to the audience, you know, and so you get these one-liners about how, you know, the X-Men should be changed to X-Women, you know, in Dark Phoenix, in case some of you aren't aware. Or, you know, how Captain Marvel, you know, has these multiple moments of, you know, it's just, you know, it's a woman thing.
These quips.
Yeah, which are laden with this, you know, social justice agenda, and it's just, it beats you over the head. And that in turn, as a guy, I'm like, well, you know, like, I don't go to the movies to be lectured. If I wanted a lesson on social etiquette and stuff like that, there's appropriate places to get that stuff. I go to the movies, I want to be entertained. I want to escape the reality of my day-to-day life for 2 hours, you know? And whether that escape is being, you know, captained by a strong woman character leading me on some adventure or a strong male character leading me on some adventure makes no difference to me. As long as the adventure is worth taking and the character is worth being invested in. If I'm going to put 2 hours of my life into somebody, I want it to be a character I can be invested in. I don't care what gender they are. I can honestly say I've never gone and seen a movie, any movie, where I thought, you know, this movie would be perfect if that main character was just more like me. Like, I never do that. I've gone to the movies and I said, wow, I'd like to be more like that character. But I've never sat there and said, you know, this movie would have been great, except the main character was black and I'm a white guy, and therefore I couldn't relate. Or the main character's a woman and I'm a man, therefore I couldn't quite relate. I've never done that. And I think anybody who goes to a movie, and if you need to see a representation of yourself on screen in order to enjoy a movie, you've got deeper issues.
Right.
Then, you know what I mean? You know, and I wish Hollywood would get that. But apparently, what's been going on is people complaining about the heavy-handed SJW agenda being forced down their throats in some of these movies, and then the studios, in turn, Disney, flipping it back and saying, oh, well, this is just sexist, misogynistic fans who don't want to see a strong woman. And it's like, you are so out of touch with your
No idea what
audience.
this society is coming to.
Let's put it this way, you know,
It makes me sad.
Hollywood today thinks like they've stumbled on something new. Like, oh, let's make strong, empowered women as main characters, as if that's never happened before. Princess Leia, 1977. She was blasting holes in the hallway of the
Killing
detention center,
stormtroopers.
you know, telling Han to, you know, get in the chute, flyboy. You know what I mean? And, you know, Princess Leia from 1977. You had Ripley from the 1980s and stuff like that. You've had Celine from the Underworld franchise. You had Jennifer Lawrence's character in the
Hunger Games.
You know, all strong lead female characters. You know, Uma Thurman in the Kill Bill movies. I mean, I could go on and on. This isn't something new. And what all of those have in common that these most recent crop don't seem to have picked up on is that all of those were good characters driven by the story. They were strong females, but that wasn't what was presented as their main characteristic. You know, you didn't go see Kill Bill because it was like, well, here's a strong female getting... No, you went to see Kill Bill because you liked the character that Uma Thurman played. You understood what she was doing and why she was doing it. Same thing with Selena in the Underworld, you know, franchise. You liked the character. The fact that their gender was a non-issue. You know, same thing with Ripley, with Princess Leia. You know, you can't think Star Wars without Princess Leia. You know what I mean? And it wasn't that she was a princess that just needed to be. You know, she was rescued by Luke, and I use that in quotation marks because it obviously didn't go so well, and she played a big part in them being able to get out of there. But she was rescued by Luke. After that, she was like pretty much in charge, calling Chewie a walking rug, telling Han to get him out of her way, you know. Walking carpet, sorry. You know, and bossing people around, and it was okay because it was believable within the confines of the story and the characters. And I think what we're seeing now is we're seeing Hollywood trying to force an agenda on people who are like, we don't need the agenda. And so you have this tension between a new generation of Star Wars fans who have been told that they should, or, you know, they're supposed to, you know, be super fans of Rey in the new trilogy, when Rey is just written as a very flat, one-dimensional character, and other than telling people you should like her because she's a woman lead in a Star Wars movie, there's no real reason to like her. You know, she's just written bad, you know. And the same thing with the Captain Marvel and the Ghostbusters 2016 and Dark Phoenix and this new CW Batwoman thing. You know, it's you're going above and beyond to let everyone know that they're forcing this agenda on you. And if you somehow don't get in line and get in step with this agenda, there's something wrong with you. And I think
Almost
what
like brainwashing.
yes, and I think what you're seeing is a lot of the fans are saying, no, wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with me because, you know, I don't like the fact that, you know, you're putting these you know, lines, you're having these characters say these agenda-driven lines for no reason. There's nothing wrong with me because you're having these characters make it out to seem that, you know, everything with a penis is evil. You know, that doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. Maybe you want to check with your writers, you know, because I'm just reacting to what you're showing me.
Right.
You know, and if I'm reacting negatively, maybe you're not showing me good stuff. You know, that's just my take on it. What about
agree.
you?
No, I agree. And like I said, I don't understand, and I probably never will, because it's just little old me in this big old world, and I just don't get the need or the understanding as to why these. I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. I don't want to say stereotypes, but it's these groups that seem to be targeted specifically for, having these characters in these movies or TV shows that are coming up. What was it called? The Ethereals or
Oh, the Eternals.
Eternals.
Yes.
I know they were having inclusivity and diversity, and I get all that, and just I don't understand why everything can't just blend. I don't know why nothing can just be cohesive, and why does everything have to be thrown in our faces all the time? I'm trying not to be, I'm not naive. And I'm not stupid. I just don't understand, and it pisses me off that these certain individuals feel that we need to be coddled and catered to.
That gets to a larger issue.
I know it does.
With
I know it
society
does.
as a whole today.
I don't understand that.
But I just think that And
Does that make sense?
Yes, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I think it's this postmodern, or what I would call neo-feminism, that is rampant today.
Sure.
Which you almost have, and like I hate to, because I really don't want to turn this into a political discussion per se, but it's almost as if, having all these characters come together without addressing it is almost like a taboo nowadays. It's in Aliens 2, you had the Space Marines, which were made up. There was a character, Vasquez, who was a woman, and Latina, and you had, who was a Marine. You had Sergeant Apone, who was the guy in charge of them, who was African American, and you had some white guys, and it was a mix. And they didn't have to call your attention to it. You just kind of saw that there was a little bit of everything going on there. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Star Wars, It wasn't like in your face, like, this character's, transgender, unicorn-loving, cotton candy-eating, space alien that's, whatever. It was just like, there they are. They're an eclectic group of different people and creatures or whatever, from different backgrounds with different characteristics, but they're all coming together for the greater good.
And that's what I meant. Why can't they just blend?
Because in today's society, that's taboo. At least from Hollywood, because Hollywood has gotten out of the business of entertaining and gotten into the business of social engineering. Mm. And that's where we're at today. And that's why you see, the Batwoman trailer where, she's, when Alfred says that the people love the fact that Batman is back, and she makes a comment about how she doesn't want a man taking credit for a woman's work. Like, is that necessary? Like,
And that's what I meant by throwing quips in these movies that are
Yeah.
completely unnecessary.
well, again, it's Hollywood drifting away from the entertainment business and getting into the social engineering business. That's what it. At least that's what it seems like. That's what it seems.
We're changing the name of X-Men.
Right, change. Yeah, they just
Because the executive producer thinks that name is outdated because there are females on the team.
you know what I would say to Alonzo, is that her name?
Alonzo, I think.
Alonzo and stuff like that. If you think X-Men is outdated because of the men part, then you clearly need to go back, pick up a dictionary, and understand the different uses of the term men. Okay? Because it's not always used in a gender specific way. You know, like the phrase like all men are created equal. They meant everybody in the society.
Inclusive.
Right. But they meant everybody in the society, you know? So, I mean, saying that X-Men is outdated because it's the title of a team that clearly has strong women on it, you know, it just means that, you know, quite honestly, you're just an idiot. I mean, to put it bluntly, you know, and you can come at me, Disney, I don't care. You know what I mean? You gotta be a moron.
Maybe we'll get our account locked for offending somebody.
I dare you. Anyway,
That's
but
the stupidest thing. Let's not get on Brie Larson, please. It's just let's move on.
Brie.
Let's just move on.
Oh,
You
Brie.
snorting hoe.
I'm glad that came from the other woman.
Let's just move
Snorting
on
hoe.
from Brie. And yes, I did say that.
But yeah, like I said, I don't think Hollywood, you haven't stumbled on something new. Strong leading women characters is not a new thing.
No.
Like I said, I just pointed out 5 franchises, you know, going back to the late 1970s that had strong leading women characters. What they didn't have...
No issues.
Right, what they didn't have was you, Hollywood, trying to lecture us on how we should think or what we should believe. Give us good characters, write good characters, tell us good stories, and you know what? We won't care if the leading characters are women or not. It won't make a difference because we're there for the story and we're there for the character, not the character's gender. But until you guys can do that, you're going to keep facing this backlash from the fans. I am just so glad that Godzilla was never like nailed down to one sex or the other because they would have made a stink about
He's
that too.
asexual.
Yeah, Godzilla is an asexual radioactive lizard. He's
Yes.
300 feet tall. So I'm just glad because you know I would they probably would have had backlash. Well, why can't you have a scene where Godzilla lays an egg? She's a female. You know what I mean? That's what you would expect from Hollywood today. You know. So
This topic can go on and on
Yes.
and on
Yes.
and on for hours.
yes, again.
But in the end, I truly believe that this society just needs to wake the fuck up. I really do. And I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying that the groups that feel that they need to stand out more than everybody else.
Yes.
And I just, that chaps my ass. I can't even tell you how badly. It's just ridiculous. And I'm not even saying that as a woman. I'm just saying that as a person. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Well, like I said, I just think that Hollywood needs to stop trying to lecture us. And when I say us, I mean either the fandom for a particular franchise or just moviegoers in general.
No.
I think Hollywood needs to stop trying to lecture to its audiences and social engineer, and it needs to get back to what it should have been, what it was for a long time, and that's just
Creating strong characters.
well, just entertaining.
That's what I mean.
Just entertain us. Write good scripts, tell good stories
Yeah.
with good characters, and the rest will fall into place.
Right.
You know, and like I said, there's franchises that prove that. Princess Leia from the original Star Wars, Ripley from the Aliens, Celine from the Underworld, you know, African...
Insurgent series.
The Insurgent series, another good series that we liked. What's the character's name in The Hunger Games? I keep forgetting her name. I know the actress. Jennifer Lawrence. The character.
I don't remember. I can't remember.
Okay.
I'm having a brain fart.
Yes. But I mean, she total badass. So actually, as a matter of fact, she was such a total badass. I know women that actually took up archery based solely on seeing that character.
I would have.
You know what I mean?
I
And
like
and that's being an inspiration. That's being an icon to women. But you didn't have to beat us over the head with the fact that she was a woman. You just told a good story with a good character, and the rest fell into place. And I think that's what Hollywood needs to get back to. But one thing Hollywood needs to stop is blaming the fans. The fans are not made up of the majority.
They're not the problem.
A majority of misogynistic, sexist, man babies.
They're reacting to what you're creating.
Yes.
And it's pathetic and sad, and you need to get your shit together.
Yeah. So take that, Hollywood. And I think that's going to cover it for this episode.
Yeah, because I'll just go on and on
Yeah,
and on.
so could I.
And,
So this will be a short one.
Okay.
This is a short one.
I'm just going to drink my coffee.
But remember to hit the like button and subscribe.
Please comment.
Yes, hit the like button, subscribe. Please comment because we'd love to get your thoughts.